Fort Knox. Everybody's heard of it. Supposedly, it holds over 400,000 tons of U.S. gold. But the thing is, the last full independent audit of that vault happened in 1953. Since then, we've gotten photo ops, supervised walkthroughs, and a whole lot of trust us. Never any outside auditors, no full inventory count, or no way for anybody outside government to actually verify what's down there. That's not a conspiracy theory. Nobody's checked. And when the backbone of the world's reserve currency rests on a promise nobody can verify, it's worth asking why your own retirement should rest on paper too. Physical metal in your name doesn't need an audit. You can just hold it. Call Golden Crest Metals and get their free investor kit. It walks you through moving physical gold or silver into an IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free, or buying directly with cash. You'll also get a free portfolio review. No pressure, no hard sell, just a straight conversation about what you're holding. And right now, Golden Crest's running a bonus, up to $25,000 in free silver on qualifying purchases. Go to goldencrestmetals.com/thewhyfiles or text the word files to metals. That's 63825 to receive a free investor kit, a free portfolio review with no obligation or hard sell, and on qualifying purchases, up to $25,000 in bonus silver. All that when you go to goldencrestmetals.com/thewhyfiles or text the word files to metals. The Basque people live in a small area between Spain and France. They look like normal people, but their genes match nobody else in Europe, nobody else on the planet. Science says this is because their society developed in isolation. They didn't mix with neighbors. They were never conquered. Nobody migrated in or out. The Basques explain it differently. They didn't always live in Europe. Their real homeland was destroyed thousands of years ago, and in their language, they still have a name for it: Atlaintika. The Basques are the children of Atlantis. The American Chiropractic Association actually endorses Brooklyn bedding mattresses for spinal alignment. That got my attention fast because I spend all day hunched over research notes and scripts, neck cranked, back tight. A chiropractic organization doesn't hand that out lightly. So I wanted to know who's actually building these things. Turns out Brooklyn Bedding makes every mattress themselves in their own 650,000 square foot factory in Phoenix, Arizona. Family owned since 1995. No middlemen, no imported knockoff with a logo slapped on. They pioneered bed-in-a-box back in 2008, and they've been refining spinal support ever since. Memory foam, hybrid, inner spring, cooling covers for hot sleepers, firmer builds for side sleepers, even hard-to-find sizes. CNET named them Best Mattress. Wirecutter named them Best Hybrid Mattress. And you get a 120-night trial to try it out on your own spine. If you don't love it, they'll help you return it or swap it, hassle-free. If your back's been complaining, this is the fix an actual chiropractic organization is willing to vouch for. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code, TheWhyFiles, at checkout to get 30% off site-wide during the Labor Day sale. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code TheWhyFiles for 30% off site-wide, exclusive with my code, brooklynbedding.com, promo code TheWhyFiles. Around 360 BC, Plato wrote down a story that his own audience found hard to believe. He didn't invent it, and he didn't claim to. The story came a few generations earlier, told by the Greek statesman Solon. Solon visited a temple in Egypt, and the priest there told him something that surprised him. They said Egyptian records went back thousands of years further than the Greeks. Those records described a great civilization in the Atlantic Ocean, out past the Pillars of Hercules. Today we call that the Strait of Gibraltar. Through the Pillars, the Mediterranean ends and the open Atlantic begins. An island empire that disappeared in a single day and night, 9,000 years before Solon heard the story. Plato said mountains ring the island. The capital was built in circles of land and sea. These defenses made the island impossible to conquer, so Atlantis grew powerful. Its navy had 1,200 warships, and it was wealthy. The island was rich in orichalcum, a rare red metal almost as valuable as gold. It covered the walls of temples and the homes of the rich. Orichalcum means status. In Greek, orichalkos means mountain copper.
Mountain copper, the most valuable metal on Earth, and they named it like a Yankee candle.
Like the Atlanteans, the Basques were famous for copperwork and were master shipbuilders. By the 1500s, the Basques traded copper all over the world, even with the tribes of North America. Basque whalers may have followed whale migrations to Newfoundland as early as the late 1300s. 100 years before Columbus. But the Basques say their ancestors from Atlantika traveled the world thousands of years before that. When French explorers reached Newfoundland, the people spoke in a language built from Basque. The explorers thought the land was brand new. It wasn't new to the Basques. Thousands of years later, we still tell the story of Atlantis, and everyone knows how it ends. Earthquakes and volcanoes destroyed most of the island, and anything that was left sank beneath the ocean after a great flood. But the people of Atlantis were doomed long before that. Doom didn't come from the sky or the earth or the water. It came from their blood. An island sits in the Atlantic, green and volcanic, richer than any land in the known world. At its center is a city built in rings. A canal runs through the heart of it, from the open sea to the royal island at the center. The harbors are packed with foreign ships carrying amber, ivory, tin, cedar, grain, and gold. Tonight, the 10 kings gather at the citadel for the contest. Each man offers a prayer to the other 9, Surineku, good fortune. The kings will need luck today, but they're not here to compete with each other. They have to work together. Inside the sacred grounds, a dozen bulls roam free. These aren't cattle. They're descended from the first black bull that came out of the sea when Poseidon made the island. Priests raised them well-fed and strong, but never tamed. They're taught to hate humans and to hate kings most of all. Some have killed kings. Those bulls get saved for breeding stock. Before dawn, each king gets anointed with an oil of cedar, salt, and royal blood. The bulls learn that scent when they were calves. They hate it. The 10 kings must bring down a bull and keep it alive. They can't kill it, and they have to do it with their own hands. No man may enter the grounds with metal, no blades, no spears, not even a fishhook. According to the law, the contest happens every winter solstice. No king can refuse. Nobody is above the law. The animals are taken to the circle until the kings arrive. They wait for hours, driven crazy with thirst, heat, and the thunder of drums. Finally, the kings enter. The bulls are released. And once they catch the scent, they charge. When the kings catch a bull, if they survive, they have to drag it alive to the bronze pillar where the laws are written. There, over the words that bind their houses, they sacrifice it. The kings mix that blood with wine and toast, Surineku. Then they drink. While the fires burn down, the kings discuss how to govern the city. Tonight's gathering is somber. There's a problem in Atlantis, and the citizens want answers. None of the kings have one. The people want to know why their babies keep dying. The Basques have the highest concentration of Rh-negative blood on Earth. Rh factor is a protein in red blood cells. The name comes from rhesus monkeys, where researchers first found the protein. It's passed down through primates and has been for millions of years. Most people have it. You probably do. And if you do, you're Rh positive. That's 93% of people on Earth have it. The rest are Rh negative, and their blood doesn't carry the marker at all.
Hold on. I say it like I got a C- in monkey blood science.
Most people's blood has a marker, a protein on the surface of the cell. A few people don't have this.
Okay, so there's regular blood and high test. I got it. Vampires and zombies, take note. A Basque bisque is delish.
And the trait is recessive, which means it hides. When populations mix, it fades. Every generation dilutes it a little more. But 1 in 3 Basques is Rh negative. That's double the rest of Europe and 5 times the rest of the world. And because the trait hides, even that number undersells it. Most Basques carry the gene, whether their blood shows it or not. For blood like that to stay concentrated, a population has to breed inside itself for a very, very long time. But Rh negative comes with a cost. When an Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive child, Her immune system might reject the baby as a different species.
A different species. The blood itself is saying alien. What do I have to do? Draw you a chart? Even the word Basque sounds like a lizard people word.
It's an immune response, not a confession.
That's exactly what a lizard people immune system would want you to think. But when your baby's born blinking sideways, don't say I didn't warn you. Go ahead, feed it a cricket. Feed it a cricket.
The first pregnancy is usually fine, but the ones after that are dangerous. The child weakens in the womb. Untreated, the child can die. But here's what science can't explain. A trait that kills children should disappear. Instead, the Basques have the highest frequency in the world. Nobody can prove where it came from. It can't be traced to any place on Earth. Because, according to the legend, it didn't come from Earth. It came from the gods. The Basque weather god Mari lived in a cave on a mountain with her husband Zugar. Basque gods lived on the ground among the people. Plato tells the story.
And Poseidon, receiving for his lot the island of Atlantis, begat children by a mortal woman, and settled them in a part of the island.
Gods having children with humans. The Sumerians told the same story, and they called the visitors...
Yeah, Anunnaki.
Right. Beings who came down, shaped humanity, and shared their blood with it. In the Book of Enoch, divine beings mate with humans and create the Nephilim. Every culture uses a different name, but the story is the same.
Yeah, lizard people. Different tuxedos, same lizard.
But when divine blood is mixed with the humans, the offspring are often evil and violent, like the Nephilim. Plato wrote about that too.
But when the divine portion began to fade away, and became diluted too often and too much with the mortal admixture, the human nature got the upper hand.
The blood thinned and Atlantis fell. The families of the old blood escaped into the mountains and never let their blood thin again. There's a version of the gold business that sells you a rare coin at triple melt value and calls it a collector's item. That's not what's going on here. Golden Crest deals exclusively in IRS-approved gold and silver, the stuff that actually qualifies for a retirement account, backed by government mints in the US, Canada, Australia, South Africa, and Austria. No limited edition anything, no numbered certificates. No pitch about how this particular coin is about to skyrocket because only 500 were minted. When you're moving part of your 401k or IRA into physical metal, you want something with a real liquid market value, not a collectible that's hard to sell back at a fair price later. Golden Crest's team will walk you through exactly what qualifies, handle the rollover paperwork so it's tax and penalty free, and set you up with an approved custodian and insured storage. No commission-hungry pitch, no countdown clock, no call before midnight. Just a straight conversation about what you're holding now and what actually makes sense to hold instead. And CEO Rich Jacoby personally calls every client who completes a purchase or rollover. That's not a script line, that's just how they run it. Go to goldencrestmetals.com/thewhyfiles or text the word files to metals, that's 63825, to receive a free investor kit, a free portfolio review with no obligation or hard sell, and on qualifying purchases up to $25,000 in bonus silver. All that when you go to goldencrestmetals.com/thewhyfiles or text the word files to metals. For thousands of years, Atlantis was a paradise. But the island doesn't feel like paradise anymore. The founding families carried the blood of the gods, and for a long time that blood held. But some have been marrying outside the bloodline. Every generation, the old blood gets thinner, and something in the people changes. The kings don't work together anymore. Now they just argue. Sometimes those arguments turn violent. Sometimes entire families go to war. Tonight, in a stone house near the Citadel, a young woman of the old line is having a difficult pregnancy. Her husband has a good name, but his family isn't of the old line. The midwives have seen this for years, always in mixed marriages. The mother will survive childbirth, the child never does. The midwife almost says Surineku out of habit. She stops herself. You don't wish luck on a child who's already gone. The kings gather and announce what the midwives already knew. Old blood doesn't mix. When it mixes, the children die. Nobody can explain why it works this way, only that it does. The old families make a decision. They call it the rule. The rule says the old line can only marry within the old line. Any children born against the rule get thrown into the sea. It's the only way to keep the blood pure and to keep the peace. That decision outlives the island. Because deep under Atlantis, the ground is restless, the air is getting warmer, and the water is coming.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
During the last ice age, the Bay of Biscay wasn't a bay. Sea levels were 400 feet lower, and the space between Spain and France was dry land. River valleys ran for miles past today's coastline. People could walk across the land that's now open water. Then the ice melted, and the seas rose for thousands of years. The rise came in surges, and during the biggest one, the ocean climbed 50 feet within a few lifetimes. People watched the land their parents grew up on go underwater. The water drowned the forests, then the valleys. High ground turned into islands, then the islands went under too. But the drowned world didn't vanish. Trawlers have pulled up worked stone from the seafloor, tools and weapons from villages that went under with the land. And up in the Pyrenees, there are cave paintings of animals that went extinct during the last ice age. People lived through all of it, and people remember. Basque fishing tradition remembers that world. Basque fishermen have names for huge parts of land at the bottom of the bay. Euskera names like Drowned Valley and Lost Land, passed from father to son. The families say the names are older than anyone could say, handed down from ancestors who knew that land when it was still land. Mainstream science says that's impossible. The names would have to be thousands of years old, kept alive without writing, without maps, and without the ability to go hundreds of feet underwater. Science assumed the Basques showed up about 6,000 years ago. By then, the bay was already a bay. There was nothing to name. So the Basques claimed to be an ancient civilization. Mainstream science says they were superstitious sailors. But then, the bottom of the bay was mapped with sonar, and all the underwater valleys, hills, and rivers are right where the Basques said they were.
Yahtzee! Grandpa's bedtime stories just passed peer review.
But skeptics had an answer for that too. The entire sea floor is covered with hills and rivers. It's easy to guess. But in 2021, an artifact was discovered in the area, a 2,000-year-old bronze hand. And written on it was the word Sorineku. The rule is a generation old now, and the old families keep it the way they keep the harvest calendar. They marry each other. They bury the children of those who don't. And they mark their houses. A smith works copper by firelight, a hand, flat, thin, life-sized, with a hole punched at the wrist. He scratches 5 words into the bronze. Every family knows them by heart. They go up on doors across the old quarter. The hand tells everyone, people of old blood live here. A mother lists her daughter so the girl can reach it. It's the same woman who buried a child in the years before the rule. This daughter was born of old blood, and this daughter lived. The girl presses her palm flat against the bronze and says the word her mother taught her, Sorineku, good fortune. The ground starts to move. The first shock knocks the market stalls flat. The second opens cracks in the walls. And the sea in the Great Canal begins to move the wrong way. It pulls back toward the ocean, dragging ships with it. The kings order an evacuation, and whole households move at once, down to the water, onto the boats. The sea comes back at sunset. By morning, there is no harbor. There is no city, just water to every horizon. A handful of boats drift east for days, rationing water, watching for land that doesn't come. A grandmother holds a child against the wind and starts talking, because the child won't stop shaking. It's her again. She's an old woman now, and the girl in her arms is her granddaughter. She tells her about the Green Isle, the beautiful place where their people lived before the water came. She tells it slowly, carefully. By the third night, the child is telling it back to her. She teaches her the word too, the one her own mother taught her on a door that doesn't exist anymore. Sorineku. Beneath the boats, the drowned country slides past. The elders name what they're passing over, the valley of two rivers, the high meadow, the deep water, spoken out loud so the children learn them. Land rises ahead, a green coast, and behind it mountains. The boats come ashore, and a man carries something wrapped in a cloth up the beach, holding it against his chest like a child. He unwraps a small bronze hand, and before he drives the nail, he says the word into it, Sorineku. Then it goes up on the first door of the new world. Atlantis is gone, but its people and its story survived.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Are you seated? Do you know what's coming next? You probably really don't. It's Andy Lawani here from Culture Shock, the podcast where celebrities, all sorts of culture makers, people, and everybody in between, we just get on. And we're trading rehearsed answers for some unexpected, shocking questions, maybe sometimes dumb, that you may ask yourself sometimes, and you want to see someone else ask them. With all things plenty of laughs, surprises, and just enough chaos to keep everyone on their toes, you might enjoy this podcast. Be sure to check out Culture Shock wherever you stream your podcasts online, and obviously, you're gonna like this. I'm sure of it.
In the ruins of an Iron Age settlement in northern Spain, an archaeologist found a flat piece of bronze. It was a hand, life-sized, thin as a coin, with a hole punched at the wrist. And it was found where it fell 2,000 years ago, at the doorway of a house. The village was burned by the Roman army, but the ash sealed the house and everything inside. The team thought it was a helmet decoration. Nobody noticed the writing until months later. When the bronze was cleaned, it revealed 5 words in an ancient Iberian script. Experts knew the first one, Sorineku, good fortune. The modern Basque word is Zorineku. In 2,000 years, only 2 letters changed. The last word is close to the Basque word to give, so maybe it's an offering or plea to the gods. Until the hand of Irilegi was found, linguists thought the Basque were illiterate. Makes you wonder what else they got wrong. This is the oldest Basque sentence ever found. 3 of its 5 words are still debated, but the first one any Basque speaker can read on sight. That shouldn't be possible, because languages change. Greek changed, and Latin bled into dozens of languages around the world. An English speaker would have trouble speaking to English speakers 200 years ago. 1,000 years ago, they wouldn't understand a word.
1,000 years? You and I can't understand English from last Tuesday. What's a riz? And who's Skibbity? Is he dangerous?
I honestly don't know what those words mean.
Okay, Boomer.
Almost every language in Europe, from Irish to Russian, sits in one big family tree. Not Euskera. It has no relatives anywhere. Linguists spent careers trying to connect it to African languages, Native American languages, even ancient Sumerian. Nothing sticks.
They tried every language on Earth. On Earth. The search area might need an update, just saying.
Euskera has some Latin words, but they're borrowed and came along very recently. It's a language that comes from nowhere, unless you count the middle of the sea, because they have a word for Atlantis, Atlaintika, but not a word for their own country. The Basques don't even have a word for themselves. They call themselves Euskaldun, which means one who has Euskera, not someone from a place, someone who speaks a language. And the language refuses to die. Rome tried, then the Visigoths, then the Moors. Euskera survived. In 1937, Francisco Franco's regime banned Euskera. It survived anyway. Not through books or media, it was illegal. Instead, it was spoken quietly at dinner tables. Parents taught their children, just as they were taught, just as their grandparents were taught going back thousands of years.
A secret language your government can't read? Somebody write that down. Don't tell the IRS.
DNA from a 5,000-year-old grave in northern Spain only matched one group of people still alive today, the Basques. And even their bones looked different. They have broader shoulders and bigger frames. Basque skulls measured in the 1800s were closer to Cro-Magnon than other Europeans.
Different blood, different language, different skulls. At what point does science just admit these are X-Men?
5,000 years the rule held. And though the Basques now live in a valley between the mountains, they know their blood is of the sea. Thousands of years ago, Atlantis fell and millions died. But by luck, or the will of the gods, a few escaped. And the Basques have a word for someone who's blessed or lucky. Zorineku.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode's sponsored by America's Test Kitchen. At America's Test Kitchen, we test every recipe dozens of times, so it turns out right the very first time you make it. But we don't stop at right. Our test cooks keep going until it's the most delicious version possible. The salmon piccata you'll crave. The cast iron pan pizza that beats delivery. The butter chicken that disappears before seconds. And a subscription is so much more than a recipe app. Ingredient breakdowns, unbiased equipment ratings, and step-by-step explanations that turn home cooks into great ones. Stop gambling on random internet recipes. Cook the ones that are proven delicious. Subscribe today at americastestkitchen.com. That's AMERICAS testkitchen.com.
High in the mountains where the snow closes the passes half the year, there's a door with a bronze hand nailed to it. The woman who lives behind it came here on a boat. She was the girl who wouldn't stop shaking. She's an old woman now herself, and tonight her own granddaughter is asking questions. The girl knows the story, the rings of the city, the red metal flashing in the sun, the night the sea took it all back. She can tell it in order, beginning to end, because that's how she was taught, and that's how she'll teach it. Tonight, she's asking a different question. She wants to know why she can only marry inside the old families. The old woman gives her the only answer anyone has left.
We keep the rule.
She doesn't explain the why, because she doesn't have it. The why stayed behind on the island, and when everyone keeps a rule, nobody living has seen what breaking it cost. What survived is the keeping. Marry inside the old families, mark the door, say the word. The girl puts her palm on the bronze hand the way her grandmother taught her, the way somebody taught her grandmother. The island will soften into a bedtime story. The Green Isle, a beautiful place far away, gone. Nobody will write it down, and nobody ever writes the rule down either. It lives where the language lives, in the mouth and in the blood. Thousands of years later, we drew that blood out of their arms and put it under a microscope. An isolated society in the mountains between Spain and France carries blood that matches nobody. They speak a language related to nothing. They tell a story about an ancient island that fell beneath the sea. It's a great story. But is it true? Well, the story starts with Plato, and that's the biggest problem. Most scholars think he invented Atlantis as a warning about power and arrogance. Everything tonight was dramatized from Plato and the Basques legend. Even if Atlantis were a real place, people still can't agree on its location. There are a few candidates like Bimini Road and the Richat structure in Africa, but the geography isn't quite right, so they're just theories, for now. There's no physical evidence either. Nobody's found the Egyptian records shown to Solon. There's no ruins, no artifacts, no proof of an advanced civilization at the bottom of the ocean. But there is plenty of evidence of settlements underwater, and we find new ones all the time. Ships have brought up tools, pottery, gold, even wine. But it's all Stone Age, Iron Age, and Bronze Age stuff. Unless you count the Antikythera mechanism, which is pretty incredible for its age. But nothing about it says Atlantis.
A 2,000-year-old computer, and nothing about it says Atlantis. Yeah, okay. Nothing about it says Greece either.
And the Basque legend of Atlaintika probably isn't Basque. Nobody can find it anywhere before the modern world fell in love with Atlantis. It looks like something the fans made up, and I'm one of the fans. But I want to see real evidence, not an internet meme. Same with the fishing names. We couldn't find those anywhere outside Atlantis folklore. Euskera is an orphan language with no parents, that's true, but there are others, like Japanese and Korean. But Chinese has seeped into almost every Asian language, just like there are Latin words in Euskera. So a few languages might not have parents, but they've got neighbors. The bronze hand of Irulegi has skeptics too. The worlds don't match Euskera as well as the stories claim. But the blood is strange. Science knows exactly what Rh-negative blood is. That gene has shown up in ancient bones all over Europe, but nobody knows why the recessive gene stuck around so long or why it's so prevalent in the Basques. The Basques probably aren't the children of Atlantis, but they still might be the children of a flood. When the ice melted, the rising water took the coast, and whoever lived there got pushed into the mountains. However, the Basques got there, they stayed, and maybe they had to. When an Rh-negative mother carries an Rh-positive child, the first baby is usually fine, but the ones after can die. A Basque woman who married inside the valleys mostly carried children like herself, safe. A Basque woman who married an outsider buried babies. And nobody really knew why until the 1940s. Even if the Basques didn't create the rule, their blood may have enforced it. That gives the Basques a unique identity. It's a story they all share. And I think that's why America feels so divided. We no longer have a shared story. We all live in our own story now. We keep what we like, we throw out what we don't, even if we throw out the truth. We sort ourselves into tribes that only tell one version of the story. And every tribe swears its version is the whole story, and it never is. The Basques kept one story alive for 5,000 years. We can't keep one through an election. I don't know how a country gets its story back. I don't think anybody does. But I can always pray. Sorry, Neku. Thank you so much for hanging out today. My name is AJ. Here's Hagglefish.
The oldest Basque artifact is a bronze hand that says good fortune. As a guy with no hands, I find it culturally insensitive. Beautiful, but insensitive.
This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, he'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, comment, like, share, hit the buttons. That stuff really helps the channel. Like most topics we cover here, today's is recommended by you. If there's a story you'd like to see, learn more about, go to theyfiles.com/tips, send an email, get us in Discord, in the live streams. You'll find us. If you enjoy the stories I tell here on the Y-Files, check out my other show on the channel called The Basement. It's a conversation show where I chat with the interesting people behind the episodes. Some of the people you know, but I think most are probably new to you. But they're all people I find fascinating. Experts on fun topics like moon landing hoax, time travel, extrasolar objects, quantum theory, robotics. It's random. The DMT laser code was crazy. And if there's someone you'd like to see on the show, let me know. I'm always on the hunt for good guests. If you're looking for books mentioned in the episodes or by a guest, we now keep them on a website called The Library. The link is below. Maybe. It's new. Or go to thewhyfiles.com. The link might be there. Maybe. It's new. Remember, The White Files is also a podcast. You can take us on the road and listen 24/7. I upload at least twice a week. Episodes, campfire stories, interviews. It's called The White Files Operation Podcast, and it's available everywhere you get your podcasts. And speaking of 24/7, check out our 24/7 stream of The White Files Backstage. Over there, we run episodes back-to-back with some fun, unique content in between that you can't see here on the main channel. And the live chat is more entertaining than anything. Special thanks to our patrons who make this channel possible. Every episode of The White Files is dedicated to my Patreon members. Couldn't do any of this without you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And if you'd like to support the channel, keep us going, and join this community, become a member on Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to perks like videos early with no commercials, exclusive merch, and 2 private live streams every week just for you. And the whole White Files team is on the stream. Last week we had Hybrid, Mrs. White Files was on there, Victoria, Gino was there, and you get to meet all of us, but also you could turn your webcam on, hop up on stage, talk to me and the whole crew, ask a question, anything you like. I think it's the best perk there is. Another great way to support the channel is grab something from the White Files store.
Yeah, grab a Hackabus t-shirt or what he said, Hackabus my face. I'm trying to do like one of those auction fellas. What is he, an auctioneer? Auctioneer? Is that like who works at Disney World? Do you imagine? I'm off track. Grab a Hackabus t-shirt or one of these fistable coffee like you stick your fin in or your bronze hand or whatever you want to slide in it. Or grab some of my face on it. Okay, what do you squeeze? Oh, get ready to squeeze the little tugging Hackabus. Tugging toy dolls.
But if you're going to buy merch, make sure you become a member on YouTube. Hear me out. YouTube members get 10% off everything in the White Files store forever, and it's only $3. So if you're going to spend $40 on t-shirts and fistable coffee mugs, become a member, get the code, it pays for itself, and then just cancel. I don't mind that. The code is there to save you money, not make me money. Everything from membership goes to the team. I don't touch it.
Yeah, keep that secret down in the, yeah, you know where to keep that, where the wife don't check.
Those are the plugs, right? Been talking for an hour. I must have got them all. I think I did. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are appreciated.
In Area 51, a secret code inside the Bible said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun, as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap I got stuck inside Mel's hole with MK Ultra, of being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smiling man, I'm told, and his name was Cold. And I can't believe I'm dancing with the fish on Thursday nights with AJ2 and the White Files have the beat all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the White Files have the beat all through the night. The Mothman sightings and the solar storm still come to Agatha. The secret city underground. Mysterious number stations, planet Serpo 2, Project Stargate, and what the Dark Watchers found. Within a simulation, don't you worry though. The Black Knight satellite, it told me so. I can't believe I'm dancing with the fish. Hecklefish on Thursday nights with AJ2, and the Wi-Fi's on the beat all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the Wi-Fi's on the beat all through the night. Hecklefish on Thursday nights with AJ2, and the Wi-Fi's on the beat all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the Wi-Fi's on the beat all through the Gertie loves to dance. Yeah, Gertie loves to dance on the dance floor because she is a camel, and camels love to dance when the feeling is right, always in time. Gertie loves to dance. Gertie loves to dance.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
This episode's sponsored by America's Test Kitchen. At America's Test Kitchen, we test every recipe dozens of times, so it turns out right the very first time you make it. But we don't stop at right. Our test cooks keep going until it's the most delicious version possible. The salmon piccata you'll crave. The cast iron pan pizza that beats delivery. The butter chicken that disappears before seconds. And a subscription is so much more than a recipe app. Ingredient breakdowns, unbiased equipment ratings, and step-by-step explanations that turn home cooks into great ones. Stop gambling on random internet recipes. Cook the ones that are proven delicious. Subscribe today at americastestkitchen.com. That's AMERICAS testkitchen.com.